You know, Richard, why is the United States threatening the Damascus government when Damascus has been doing the heavy lifting to fight ISIS? And what the United States does every time it goes in there militarily, has its forces on the ground, it just dullens that attempt to fight terrorism. You know, the U.S. policy is an impediment to fighting ISIS. I don't understand the logic here. Go ahead, Richard, in New York.
I flatly disagree with your assumption about at least the consistency of Syrian policy to fight ISIS.
What has the U.S. done in Syria that's right? Name one thing the United States has done right when it comes to Syria. One thing.
Well, we tried for many, many years to get Syria interested in opening up talks with the Israelis, and they were very, very reluctant to come anywhere near that situation.
Why?
Half as al-Assad did in his last years.
Okay, I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. After 7 years of civil war, a proxy international war, it's because Assad didn't want to talk to the Israelis? Really?
No, don't misinterpret. I'm just saying that we have tried to do something positive in Syria. We did work on it extensively, year after year, didn't get anywhere. Okay, so that's passed. But it didn't leave a very good impression of Syria in Washington, I can tell you.
Well, I think
what they can do now,
you know, the Syrian people, after all of the
UN,
after the billions of dollars, the training, the funding, the salarying of these jihadists from outside the country, that's what the U.S. policy has been. And now they are illegally present there illegally under international law. The Damascus government wants them out, and they won't leave. I mean, who's breaking the law here? Who's being an animal here, okay? This war could have ended a long time ago if it hadn't been backed by the United States, Saudi Arabia, the other Gulf countries, and Israel. It would have been over a long time ago. Go ahead, Michael. Do you want to jump in?
It could have been over a long time ago if they hadn't piled in and beaten up those kids down in Daraa.
Okay, and on the first, and Richard, on the first day of the protest, there were violence, and it was from outsiders. This is very well documented. You know, don't tell me, you know, this is all peaceniks, you know, wandering around, you know, giving flowers to people, because that violence started on day one. Okay, Michael, you wanted to jump in.
Our relationship with the CIA, with Syria actually degraded in 2003 when we invaded Iraq. The Syrians saw that this was going to happen. They had the back channel with the CIA.
They helped.
And when when that was severed,
they helped.
But to a point, they did. And then that's when they turned to the Pentagon just on the eve of the invasion to say, don't invade. We'll try to work this out. We'll even stage some 5,000 troops to go into Iraq for you to look for WMD. They saw what the outcome will be. So and everything went to pieces from them. That's when Assad really turned to Iran. Right after that. And that cannot be disputed. That is a fact. And I think that's when Iran and Syria really began to become closer. You got to keep in mind, Assad is a Shiite Alawite, so that was normal. And this is what upset Israel to a great extent. Our foreign policy in the United States has been to carry out, to help implement Israel's foreign policy for years, and the Pentagon was the instrument for doing that.
Okay, Joe, 40 seconds. You end the program. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, well, John Bolton began this week his new job as National Security Advisor. He has a real thing for Iran. The Iranian presence in Syria might be what he ultimately be going after, even more than trying to overthrow Assad.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, it looks to me like always it's Iran. Always is at the very, very center. It has been since the revolution in 1979. And Trump, and he has surrounded him with a group of people that feel exactly the same way. People that lament the defeat in Vietnam. That's all the time we have, gentlemen. Many thanks to my guests in Washington and in New York. And thanks to our viewers for watching us here at RT. See you next time. And remember, crosstalk rules.